Alright, this video is going to be the tutorial for Part D, Burst Mode, Part 2, which is the lighting topic number 4. And in this burst mode, we're going to be using some blending modes as well as some selections and cutouts in Photopea to create something that looks like this. So if you've seen these action shots before, where the artist is taking a burst mode shot of some action happening and then piecing it all together onto one page. That's what we are trying to do in this project. There's some more examples when you look online, very similar kind of stuff. For the most part, you see things like snowboarding or BMX bike kind of stuff because it's an action shot where there's a lot of movement within the air. Okay, something like this as well. So we're trying to do something like this as close as we can to this idea. That's what we're trying to get to. So to begin, what you need for this project is you're going to need some photos. So on your phone, we already talked about burst mode photos and how to take them. If you weren't here for that, right here where it says project 4, part 4, sorry, topic 4, where it says B, little known tricks in the iPhone camera. That will show you how to do burst mode. Also here, it explains a little bit. You can always look up burst mode on YouTube and it will show you how to do burst mode photos on your iPhone. And then once you have them, you're going to download them. So my grouping of them looks a bit like this, where I kept the camera in one spot. I showed this a little bit before, okay, but you can keep the camera in one spot and use the burst mode to take photos of the person in different motions, right? Some kind of exciting motion that's not typical. You want to catch something like jumping, okay? It's perfect. So all of these, so far I think there's 12 of them here. Yes, 12 photos. You don't necessarily have to use all 12. We'll see how it goes. You're going to open up photopea.com. Once you get there, you're going to go to File. Down in Photopea. File here, and New. Once you're in there, I'll zoom in. What you wanted to say is this is going to be Project 4, and it's actually Part 2. And the name of it is Burst Mode. Okay, so Burst Mode, I'm going to put it, you can see it there, Burst Mode, Project 4, Part 2, and then your name at the end. The size of this, it's kind of up to you how you want it to look. 8.5 by 11 should be the basic size with a height of 11 and a DPI of 150, a white background. The only change that you might want to make is this little flip switch right here, which allows you to flip to make it 11 by 8.5, or you can flip it back. So depending on yours. The one that I shot that we just looked at a minute ago looked like, vertical. It was shot vertically. So I'm going to keep mine this way. I'm going to keep it 8.5 by 11 with 150 resolution, RGB color, white background. I'm going to click Create, and I'm going to get that white page that pops up on my screen. Now from there, what I want to try to do is I want to drag in all of the photos. So for me on the Mac, I had already downloaded them. They're here in my Downloads folder. They're right here in this folder. I'm actually going to grab all of them, and I'm going to drag them in all at once. I'm going to click, drag, and drop them onto that white page. Click, drag, and drop. Now, you'll see that it's laying down each one. And you can see in this area here, it keeps adding layers. Right now there's 3. In a few seconds there'll be 4. There we go. And it's continuing to add them one on top of another. So because it's working through the internet to do this, just give it a little bit of time. It's taking the photos and placing them on the page. And at the end, you should have 12 layers plus your white background, so that's 13 total layers in this case because I had 12. If you have more or less, you can do the math yourself, but it's going to just make sure that they're all in there. And you could always, once you bring in all of your images, you might find that you want to get rid of a few. You don't need them all. So I'm going to go up to the top now. Once they stop adding, I'm going to go up to the top and just hit the checkbox, or I can hit Enter on my keyboard. So once you hit that checkbox, if you look in your layers now, you're going to see all of your layers that you have, right? The bottom one here, I'm going to hide all of these first. I'm going to take off everything except the bottom 2. So I'm hiding all of these layers. This is the visibility icon next to the layer. I'm just taking it off temporarily so I don't see it. And the first one looks like this. He's in that running motion, right? That's the very first photo here at the bottom. I'm going to leave that one. That one's I'm not going to touch. I'm going to leave it as is. But the next one, as I go up, I'm going to turn it on, and then I'm going to right-click on it and select Rasterize. And now on this layer, 1105, I'm going to do a selection. I'm going to use the Ellipse Tool to try and do it. When you have the Ellipse Tool selected, just make sure that at the top you have this button selected, which is to unite them so you can do multiple pieces. Feathering at 0, anti-aliasing on. And what you're going to do is you're going to zoom into this with Command plus or Control plus. And when you get close in, what you're going to try to do is make a selection. That's the wrong tool. Sorry. Over here. Lasso tool, regular lasso tool. And you're going to try to make a selection of the person. What I'm going to do first is make this little, like, looks like a blob, kind of. Alright, like that, to select a portion of him so far. But I'm not done. I want to continue to do it all the way across, so continue all the different parts of his body. Grab as much detail as you can along the edge. Make these little selections, just like that. Remember, this button is allowing you to do that. So I'm going to keep going. Over here where his arms are blurry, I'm going to do the best I can. Not so easy over here. That part definitely is not that easy, but we can always fix it a little bit later, you'll see. So it's like I'm adding, each time I'm adding little chunks to this selection. Each time adding a chunk, until I get all of him selected, his whole body. It's easiest to work in these little chunks, because then you feel like you're making some progress. The more you zoom in, the better it's going to look. Obviously, I'm doing this quickly to try to make the tutorial a little bit shorter. All right, we're almost done with this first one and the rest of his head. So we're going to go like this, come up and around, try to stay close to his head. Okay, it looks pretty good. From far away, it's going to look like this. You'll see the selection on it. Now, all I have to do, I'm still on that layer, 1105. You see my selection, it's on the outside edge of him, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click this box right here. And this is called a layer mask or a raster mask. And if you click it, you'll see that on the layer, it creates this little link with a box. Everything here that's black is hidden now. Anything that's white, which was the inside of my selection, is kept. So now it looks like this. Do you see what's happening here? You see the original one at the bottom. That was the first layer that I had. Then this is the first one that I cut out. What's also nice about this is I can go to the layer. I can take the move tool at the top of my toolbar, and I could move it if I want. I can literally move it. I'm going to keep it where it was for now, but I can always move it later. So then I go, sorry about that. Then I go to my next layer, so over here, 1106. I click on it, I turn it on, I rasterize it. It's always going to be the same steps repeated. Right click, rasterize. And now I go to this one, and I try with my lasso tool to do the same thing. Okay? So you're going to be doing, maybe 8 to 10 cutouts, basically. You're going to go around the body, just like I was doing here. So I'll do another kind of quick one. And you're going to continue to do that for all of yours. All of your images, one layer at a time. Make your selection. If it's blurry, like you see this blurriness that's going on here, just do your best. Try to get to the edge. Zoom in. I'm not really zoomed in, as I said, because I'm trying to go quickly. You can get a little bit of the floor involved if you want, because that's where the shadow is. That's okay. So I'm doing little blobs, basically, little chunks to try to get the rest of the body in here. And here, obviously, it's very blurry. Just do your best. Hopefully yours won't be too blurry. Try not to move the camera when you take them, you'll get less blur. Okay, so there's that one. I selected it. I go back over to the layer, over here. Same thing again, go to that layer, now that you see the selection on it. Go to that layer, and then go down to the bottom, and hit this button right here, which is the raster mask, or add layer mask. It does the same thing again, see it there, and then when you look at your screen, now it looks like that. You start to see all the motion happening all within the same page. Like I said before, you can always take the move tool and you can always move any part that you want if you want to move it around. So you continue those steps over and over and over and over, and eventually you're going to see all the action happening very much like what you see here. When you're done with it, just be sure that you go to File and Save as PSD. I'm going to do one more quickly. Right click, rasterize, go to the layer, zoom into it, take your lasso tool, and try to do some selections. If you mess up, you can always undo. Remember, you can always undo, which is Edit and step backward, Command Z or Control Z. Oops. You can see I'm not being super precise on the edges, it's okay. Almost done. Okay. Once you get the rest of it complete like this, last little piece on this blurry sneaker. Okay, once it's all complete like that, you go back to the layer, go right down to the bottom, select that mask. There it is. When you look at it from far away, this is what you should see. All right, make sure you save.